Hey guys, Jason Samkoviak here, Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast, out here on a beautiful August day. It is, normally temps would be 85 degrees, but it is 61 degrees. It is raining and drizzly and miserable, rain, drizzle, all day today. I saw it on the weather forecast. I purposely moved and made sure that my schedule was clear for today so that I could come out here, get some stands finished up, get some last minute scouting I wanted done, get some bright eyes put in a few trees, and so I can find them real easy in some of those thick swamps when I get my GPS takes me to them. I'm not going, what tree was it? I can hit that with my light and lock it on. I am soaked to the bone. You can see here what color my pants normally were. They are soaked, even though I'm wearing rubber boots. It is part of the game. I'm enjoying it, and I'm having a great time. Also, speaking of having a great time, you know, this pandemic set in, things have been tough. I wanted to talk to you guys a minute and talk about, taking advantage of some of these things. There's two types of people in the world. There's the people that are employees, and there's the people that are not employees, that are willing to do whatever it takes. And I'm here to tell you, when it comes to side jobs, side hustles, things like that, there is so much potential in them. I mean, to the point where things that I thought were a side business that I would do have turned into be more of a multilingual or multi-avenue entrepreneur type lifestyle. I've been a photographer for 23 years now, and I make very good money at it, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I have a great reputation, and that is my number one main income. Okay, that's what it is. But I also realized I started the podcast, Traditional Bow Hunting Podcast, hoping that maybe it'd make me 10 grand a year. It never ever made me $10,000 a year. I gave up on that. Like, I've been doing it for almost 9 years now, I think, and I gave up on that about 8.5 years ago, realizing that podcasting would never make me any money. So once I realized that, I started doing things, but I started evolving in things like that, especially after we lost Keegan. I had that energy. I've said this before, you guys have heard it, and I channeled that energy into a few courses to learn how to sell things online, to learn how to do different things. Long story short, in 2.5 years since he's been gone, and I decided that, okay, I'm going to stop being content and lazy and just doing my photography and that being it. I wanted to channel that energy into making more things. I started selling things online on Amazon, which makes me about $40,000 a year. I started up doing things with the Traditional Bow Hunting and Wilderness Podcast and actually made it an LLC, turned it into a business. I sell courses through it. I sell a whole bunch of things. I did the scouting DVDs. Then I went to the courses. Then I went to Amazon affiliate links. And all these things that I do with that. That brand itself is making me about $45,000 a year in that alone. And each of those require me very little work per week. I mean, the Traditional Bow Hunting one takes me about probably 5 hours a week of work. The Amazon, selling on Amazon, that took me, when I first launched it, it was 40 hours a week for probably 3 months straight. Now, for the last 2 years, I probably spend less than a half hour a week on that whole thing, and like I said, it makes $40,000 a year. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with this. Then this virus crap hit, and my whole photography thing went down the tubes quickly. I had to do something to turn that around. So I started up another business. That business is making about $45,000 a year. 35 to 45 depends on how hard I want to work at it. And that one is taking me about probably 15 to 18 hours a week of work, of extra side work. So the point being, and then I got some new things down the pipe that I'm going to start working on here is this winter. When I get a little more free time in the winter, I'm going to start diving into that some more too. So point being, if you look at that, in 2 years, that's, let's just round it and call it, that's about $150,000, $120,000 a year of extra income from side businesses. Okay, now that's gross. There's obviously some expenses, plus, when it's yours and you have it, you can also write off more things and stuff like that too. But I mean, that's gross income. But think about that for a minute. That's pretty impressive numbers when, for the little amount of work that's got to be done in there. So, and it leads to new plans. We got 4 years left and our house is paid off. Well, I told my wife yesterday, I said, well, when we did the numbers with this other business that I got going, I'm figuring that out. I'm like, you know what, for the next 4 years, if we saved all the money from that one and never touched it and just saved it all, we could use that money to buy a house down in Georgia for free, pay for it with cash and just be done and not have any debt on it whatsoever, and then sell our house up here, which will be 100% paid for, downsize to a little cabin up here that we have, and then move down to Georgia full time and then just have that little cabin here, and we'd still come out a couple $100,000 ahead of the game. And I could take all of my businesses that I do here and keep them rolling here, and yet then also start them up down there and to do it down there. I could take my photography, my reputation, everything would transfer right over to advertising it down there and make it happen down in Georgia. I could take my pressure washing stuff and take that down to Georgia. I can do all the bow hunting stuff, the traditional bow hunting wilderness stuff, the selling on Amazon, all the internet stuff. I can do all of that stuff, the Keeger Solutions stuff. I can do everything from there too. I have created a total lifestyle of pure freedom to be able to come out here on a Monday and do whatever I want to, work my schedule around things, hunt whenever I want, do whatever we want, survive a year-long almost pandemic. Okay, for me, this will be a year long when it comes to my photography income, because we lost everything in March. Okay, March is still a dead time for me. So my busy season is April through the end of October, through the beginning of November. That's when all of my income for photography really comes in here in Michigan. I have lost all of that. Okay, so technically, even though we haven't went a year, March to March, for me, income-wise, I lost an entire year of income. 2.5 years ago, even a year ago, that would have devastated me, crushed me, and killed me. We'd have been bankrupt. We'd have had to sell everything we had. We'd have just been straight up done. No unemployment or anything like that is going to even come close to the numbers I need. The unemployment doesn't even cover, even with what you guys get through, like the pandemic pay and stuff like that too, it wouldn't even cover 1 month of my advertising through one of my advertisers. Okay, so like I said, purely worthless on every level. If I didn't make these things happen, we would have been totally lost. But because I did, and now learning the power of a side business, a side hustle, something I do that you don't think of as being there. When I started monetizing this podcast, the traditional bow hunting wilderness podcast brand, I had no expectations of it hitting where it has now. It's off the charts. I never would have expected it to be at this level. When I did the same thing with Amazon, I figured I'd be making a couple $100 more a month selling on Amazon. At first, I thought it might get bigger, but I haven't done nothing with it. It just sits there and keeps sending me checks all the time, and I'm not even messing with it. I go on there once a week and say, "Oh no, I don't need to order anything yet. Still got plenty in there." And then, that's all I do with it. It's amazing. The power of this stuff. It's almost like royalty money. Okay, you put in a little time up front, and then you keep getting the rewards back from it. And you're putting in a little bit each week, but it doesn't have to overwhelm you. But the power of it is, I can't emphasize that enough. If you want to start a business, you got something in your mind you want to do, there is no better time than right now. This is when this reality is here. It is the American dream. We can do it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's not hard. I do have a course on it. It's called Monetize Your Hobbies and Passions. It's in the description below if you want to check it out. If you don't, completely up to you. Go figure it out on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no qualms there. Those courses do make me money. They are part of that side income, but there are a lot of people that are absolutely loving them. That's why I don't really care if you get it or not, because I'm selling a ton of them, and whether you're in it or not, or you don't think that you should be taxing people for information or some of the stuff that I hear people say, more power to you. Then don't buy it. Struggle through it on your own and figure it out. You want me to hold your hand through the whole process? The course is in the description for you below. It'll walk you through everything from start to finish, from creativity all the way through to, setting up your website, how to do it, marketing, LLC creation, attorneys, accountants, everything that you need for the whole process is all right there, and it holds your hand through every single bit of it. Marketing on social media, you name it, it's all there. If you want it. If you don't, figure it out on your own, but figure it out. Make this happen. This world is yours. You can be an employee and go in and get your paycheck and be done and complain about how you wish you should have been more or could have been more, or maybe you're happy where you're at, or you can make a change. Take the world by the horns. It's all yours. Do whatever you want with it, and then turn it into something so that you can reap the benefits and have the free time. Again, I started photography because I wanted the freedom of working for myself, and I wanted to be able to live this hunting style, this lifestyle, and do these things. And like I said, 2.5 years ago, I realized that I was just being lazy and content. There was nothing wrong with that. But even though it was my business, I was treating it like I was an employee. I was sitting idle, sitting still. I was heavier in weight, lazier. Like I said, there's so many things that I wasn't quite happy with. And like I said, losing Keegan gave me that motivation. I had so much energy, I had to do something with it, and I channeled it into bettering ourselves like this. And I took what I knew from running a photography company, and I turned it into all these other things. And like I said, they're going off the charts. It's straight up incredible. I cannot lie. It is amazing, and I want you to have that. You deserve to have that. Go out and get it. And I'm telling you, don't let anything hold you back. And it doesn't require you. I hear it all the time. I don't have the time. I didn't have the time either. I didn't have the time even remotely, but I found the time. I made the time. There were times, especially when I was launching that Amazon stuff for that first couple of months, when I was taking that course that I paid $4,000 for to teach me how to do that, and then turned around and I lost 12 grand because I screwed up really bad on my first product. It was all learning experience, all part of the game. But there were times that Tina's like, oh my God, why are you still awake? And I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, bags under my eyes so bad. I can't comprehend stuff. But you muscle through it, embrace the suck, make it happen, do what you got to do, and then you reap the rewards. And the rewards, I'm telling you, are tremendous. I have never been happier in my life right now, as far as this stuff. Now, not financially, because again, this year just crushed us. We lost everything with the photography being gone. But if it wasn't for these other businesses, we'd have been done. We'd have been completely done in selling everything. We survived that. Still managed to have just a little bit left over, and now when next year hits, and as long as there's no pandemic going on next year, then everything is back to normal with the photography. We've already got next year booked completely full because of carryover from this year. So next year that'll rock, and then with all these other things I have going on, we will be way ahead of the schedule and ahead of ourselves. I want you to be able to make that happen for yourself. This is how you do it. Get out there, grab life by the horns, figure out what you want to do, start something on the side. If it doesn't turn into anything great, move on to something else. I've done that like 4 times in the last 4 years, where I came up with an idea, started something, and gave up on it. If you guys really follow me deep and know enough about me, you know I've even started like 2 other YouTube channels, and I blew them off. I don't even touch them or go near them anymore. I have 5 other websites of projects that I started that I've let die because they didn't show me what I wanted. Part of the reason I built this course, to save you all that hassle and headache, and how to figure it out, see if it's worth it, market analysis, understand it, put it together, and then how to launch it for real. It's a fantastic course. It'll save you time and energy, or do it that way, the other way, or whatever way you want, but do something. This is your life. It is your world. Stop being an employee. Take life by the horns. Take charge of it and make it yours. Make it do what you want it to. All right, with that said, I am starting to get dripped on for my roof. I need to get out here and get another stand prepped, and we got, 3 o'clock, so I got about 6 hours of daylight left, and I got about 18 more places that I want to go fine-tune. So I'm going to let you go. I'm heading out in the woods and enjoying this beautiful day. Hope you do the same. And the link for that course is down in the description below if you want it. You can go right to tbwpodcast.com. But whatever you do, find a way to take it to the next level, even if you don't take the course. Find a way to take your life to the next level. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.